at your door. You lick your fingers and ask for more.
What's good? I just got back from the butcher and I have some recipes in this book, and I'm just going to show you what we have here, right? So we buy oxtail, and sometimes I get the whole oxtail like this. Oxtail normally comes a little bit further out about here, but I have them cut it at that bone here, and I leave some of the fat on there. Actually, I wanted a lot more fat because what I do with the fat, we cut it up and we actually make some beef tallow, okay? So with the beef tallow, all you do is render out the fat, let it on a slow heat, and then just drain it and then put it in a glass container and put it in the fridge and you're good to go. Our next set that we have here is some bigger oxtails. These is like a 2-inch, 2¼ inch cut. And again, we'll cut some of that fat off to try and make the tallow. Normally has a lot more fat on there, but the guy really did a good job trimming this down for me, so I don't have to worry about it. And this we're gonna smoke. We're gonna smoke these oxtails here and probably make like some sort of taco or something like that. And then this here is regular oxtail that we cook all the time, you know, Jamaican style, with some butter bean and whatever you want to put in there. And this, again, normally has a lot more fat on it, but you can see it was trimmed down pretty well. So, you know, we'll take the fat off and just I'll show you how we render the beef tallow real quick. All right, so give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. That's pretty much it right there. I'm gonna take the oxtails right here. These are the regular ones, and all of them, and just cut a little of the fat off. Like I said, they really did a good job with this. Normally I get a lot more fat. So even for the smoked oxtails, we're just gonna take the fat. A lot of people would have thrown that away, but it's not what we're gonna do. Let's get them off. All right. Because nothing beats the flavor that you get from that beef tallow, which is just fat, you know. So for the other people that don't really understand what I'm saying, it's just oil. You're basically making like your own little pan-searing oil that if you're gonna do any kind of meats, it just gives it a much better flavor. And look, they didn't leave much at all. Let me just tell you this right now. It didn't. Normally I could get a whole lot more than this, but they already know that how I like my oxtail. Because we cook so much oxtail a week, we really don't have time to be cutting the fat off of these like this. You know what I mean? I'm just actually this is for the house. So I'll do it, but we're doing it for the business and the truck and all of that. We don't have no time to be doing this. You know, they gotta do it for me and they know that. So once I call them and tell them that I'm coming through, they right away get it done for me. And this is something I don't have to do. And like we said before in my other oxtail video, you guys can go ahead and check that out. A lot of people lose their minds, even in my own family. They just lose their minds completely that I'm actually cutting the fat off of this. It's not something that everybody does. So this, let me see how to do this one. Let's get it at a nice angle. All right, let me just hold it and try and do it, cut it down. Give me a second, paper towel. All right, paper towel, get a good grip, and then just shave this down. Yeah, just needs the fat off of this. This is the one that we're gonna roast, guys. Oh, look at that, some nice fat. Now you don't wanna take every piece of fat off of this, especially when you're roasting it. It needs to have some kind of fat on there so it can stay juicy. And if you notice, guys, tell me what I'm doing wrong here. I'll tell you what I'm doing wrong. I didn't sharpen my knife. So that is a rule number 1. You don't ever not sharpen your knife. All right, this is some good little fat we're getting on this, guys. Oh, look at that. You don't want to work with a dull knife. All right, so I don't want every single thing to be gone. So I'm gonna leave the rest of this. Maybe, wait a minute. Hold on. Come here. Come to Papa. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Yep. All right. That's that. We don't need all of it gone. All right, guys. Let's see. And then I'll just check the oxtail that we're gonna make today. Some more, see some little pieces here. Again, this is not necessary. You can cook the oxtail with this, but I just want the top to make this tallow. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not gonna go too much further. All right, so this is just what we're gonna use to make the tallow. I'm gonna show you how we just render this out. Is put our fat in there and let this render down on very low heat until we get as much of it out as there as possible. That's pretty much it, guys. It's real simple. We're gonna go ahead and do that and then get it drained. Once it's drained, we put it in the fridge and it's there for our use anytime we feel like it. Trust me, you'll thank me later for this. You'll be like, man, I wish I threw away all that fat from our steaks. I mean, you could do this with the steaks, anything. It just changes the complexity of the dish 100%. So don't throw away the fat. But it's pretty much like rendering bacon fat. It's the best way for me to describe it. So you just, if you're cooking bacon, the same exact thing. Once it gets super crispy like that, it's pretty much done. And what you're looking for is this here. See that? This is the tallow. That's what we're looking for here. So what I did do to this, which I normally don't, but I added a little bit of salt. And the reason why I added the salt is just to bring out this flavor right here. I mean, let this render out. For some reason, when you add the salt to it, it just renders out a lot better. And it also is gonna give the tallow a little bit of flavor. Not that it needs it, but it just helps with it. But you could also add stuff to this if you wanted to, you could add different seasonings and whatever you felt like to add to it to make it be, the flavor that you want. Me, I like it to be just neutral because I don't know what I'm cooking in it, so I don't want to add too many things to it because then now you're just gonna, all your food's gonna taste the same, and we don't want that. All right, it's still somewhat hot, but so you see how crispy. Let me just show you how crispy these things got. Look at that. They got really crispy. All of the fat has been rendered out. And now I'm just gonna spoon this in. Now I could have just, if it was a little cooler, I probably would have just used the pan and turned it in. All right. And I'm gonna add this to the glass container later, but the only thing is, I don't know if I should even add it to the other tallow I got or just make a whole new one and just date it differently. And that's it. Take the strainer out. And look, we didn't get that much because like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of fat. There we go. But it's good enough. And then what I'll do when it cools down just a little bit more, I'll add it to the glass container and we're done. And that's how you get some beautiful beef tallow. Yay. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and make our oxtail now. That's cleaned already. We're just gonna season it with some all-purpose seasoning and Maggi. And also we're gonna use some onion powder and allspice. We're just gonna make it really simple. This is, I have other recipes for oxtail, so you'll always see me. I'm gonna probably have quite a few of them because I make oxtail so many different ways, right? So after we put the allspice, you just want to add a little salt and then maybe just a tip of browning. We're not gonna use as much browning as the last recipe, only because I don't have enough of it. So not because I wouldn't, I just don't have it. And then make it, just give it a quick stir. And another thing we're doing different with this, because we need this to be done in less than 30 minutes, is we're cooking it in the pressure cooker. So all we do is throw it in the pressure cooker, and then I'm gonna use half an onion, some thyme, some garlic, and I say half because we're gonna use the rest later on when we're making the gravy. And then a little beef bouillon. So this is a Maggi beef bouillon, but if you have regular beef bouillon, just use that. It just really you know, helps you with the seasoning, because once we put all this water on there now, all that previous seasoning we did, it doesn't sink in as much if you don't use the beef bouillon. And then just a little bit more pimento and the allspice, and then we're gonna lock it, and I'm doing this for 30 minutes. I have a pretty good pressure cooker, can really go for 20. All right, so with 7 minutes left, we're gonna go ahead and make the gravy. I'm gonna use that beef tallow that we just finished using. See how it come in handy? And then go ahead and get the veggies in there. This is the remainder, just thyme, onion, garlic, pimento, and Scotch bonnet. And let the pressure out of the pressure cooker. This is all going in one quick movement, guys. And then now we're gonna season this up with some salt, you know, a little bit more Maggi, pimento. We already said it, allspice I'm gonna use when I talk about pimento, guys. Right? So a little allspice, and give it a little stir, and just a tip of water, because we're gonna add the juice from the pressure cooker. So we don't really need, I just don't want it to catch. So that's why we're basically doing this. But you don't have to do it if you're moving a little bit faster than I am. Always hold the lid away from you so the steam goes away and not into your face. I know you guys always make that mistake, but thanks, Chef Ballo. And then go ahead and get some of the gravy in there. You know, we're just gonna ladle it in and let it cook out these onions and stuff for a little bit. And then, depending on your pressure cooker, depends how long you want to cook this. Like I said, mine is very, very good, and I don't want it to fall off the bone, like come out off the bone. I just want it to be able to pull away from the bone. So after about 5 minutes of just letting that simmer a little bit, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the oxtails to it. Again, some people pressure cook is not that good, so they would have to cook this part a little bit longer than what we're gonna do here. This is not gonna be taking us more than 10 minutes maximum, because the oxtail is pretty much done. Let's go ahead and cover and simmer it down. And right here, we're finished, you know. This is it. And in the meantime, while I was doing all of that, I put on rice and whatever else I'm going to be making, because I want this done in less than 30 minutes, 35 minutes maximum from start to eat. You understand? So, yeah, you see the oxtail, nice and tender, good to go. That's it. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of this video for me. I got to go eat. Thanks for watching, and you know, look at the other ones too. One love.